Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Learning the Secrets of the D Language with your host TH3 Fish here, and today we're going to be learning more D language. We're going to be learning arrays today. So where we left off last time is with arrays, right here, and I've already got that page right open. Perfect. I mean, I've done some stuff with arrays before, lists and shit in Python. Lists and arrays are different though in Python. Or the same thing. I don't know. It's 1:48 in the morning, guys. This is crazy. But anyway, just give me a second so I can get some shit ready, and then we'll be cool to go. Actually, just gotta check some shit real quick. That'll be very, very good. All right, that's already perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and do some of this. Just a bit of a note. The reason why I'm doing this so fucking early in the morning is because I've got work today, so I don't really want to do this after work. You see, the thing is I break up my day into two halves: before work and after work. After work, I just go to bed. Well, three halves technically. After work, just fucking go to sleep. During work, do work. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at arrays today. We have defined 5 variables in one of the exercises of the last chapter, and we use them in certain calculations. Definitions of those variables were the following. And then we'll just double value 1, double value 2, double value 3, double value 4, double value 5. This method of defining variables individually does not scale to cases where even more variables are needed. Imagine needing thousands of variables. It is almost impossible to define 1,000 variables from value 1 to value 1,000. Okay. So arrays are useful in such cases. The array feature allows us to define a single variable that stores multiple values together. This chapter covers only some features of arrays. More will be covered in and introduced later in the slices and other array features. Cool. So the definition of array variables is similar to the definition of normal variables. The only difference is the number of values associated with the variable. So how do you reference these? I'm sure the book will get into this. I'm asking in advance because so integer single value, integer 10. Well, this is obviously one of its parts of its array is in here. Anything in the brackets is variable is specified in the brackets. So that means that it's probably the array. So this, but then the name of the array is the array of 10 values. Oh, does it mean it has 10 values because that's in the brackets? Hold on, let's read this. The only difference is that the number of values associated with the variable is specified in the square bracket. Okay. So then you have 10 potential values associated with int array of 10 values. Int single value, and then of course you have 10 integer values here. The first line above is the definition of a variable which stores a single value, and then the second one is a 10 consecutive values. In other words, it stores an array of 10 integer values. You can also think of this as defining 10 variables of the same type, or as defining an array for short. Accordingly, the equivalent of 5 separate values above would be double 5. It stores 5 double values. It's like a float, but double the length of float. That definition can be read as 5 double values. Note that I have chosen the name of an array variable as a plural word to avoid confusing. Okay, so whenever he does this shit, it'll be that makes sense. So that way you can just read it and be like, oh, okay, it's not a variable, it's an array because it's got an s at the end. In summary, the definition of an array variable consists of the type of values, the number of values, and the name of the variable that refers to the array of values. Continue. Type name, value count. So that's the amount of variables or amount of values, then the name of the variable. And this is, of course, just a standard variable, but with extra steps in the middle. In here, you have your number of variables associated with that variable. It's like a variable with multiple pieces. But this is very important shit because obviously, as mentioned, you can't just have 1,000 variables when you need. You could have one. It's like a graph almost. Think of Excel spreadsheets. How you can have so many boxes in spreadsheets. That's what the array is. An array of data could be a spreadsheet. The type of values can can also be a user-defined type. We'll see user-defined types later. So this can be user-defined. Oh, wait. No, hold on. Oh. So this is would this be user-defined? Or does he just mean the type, like this shit? Because obviously you could always do the type as bool or byte or double or float. Information about the students of a school. Student information. Wait a second. No way. You actually can do that shit. Wow, that's interesting. So instead of having... This is a strange time for you to stream, though. Yeah, it's because I got work today. It's because after work, I just go to bed anyway. So, I get up at 12, go to work at 6, get off work at 5, and then go to sleep at 5. As soon as I get off work. Doesn't matter if it's 5, 8, who cares? Go to sleep straight away after that. I obviously wouldn't be able to study after work, so I want to be able to study now. And then I'll go ahead and after this stream, I'll go into my other stream. So I'll basically just split up the streaming today. And usually I'd be recording videos, but I met my time goals on that shit as well. Time goals, I have to make those usually. I set a goal for what time I want to get my shit done by, and then if I haven't made that, then I have to keep working on it until I get it done. So for videos, it's currently priority is supersymmetry since it's behind containers and elements. Data structures that bring elements of a certain type together are called containers. For example, an array that holds the air temperatures of the days in July can bring 31 double values together and form a container of elements of a type double. The variables of a container are called elements. The number of elements of an array is called the length of an array. That was a weird noise. God damn. In order to differentiate the values in the exercise of the previous chapter, we appended an underscore and a number to their names as in chapter value 1. Oops. Kubuntu, guys. Using Kubuntu right here. Hit my Windows button, bro. Actually, now that I think about it, I should remove the Windows button from my keyboard. We ain't on Windows no more. We on Kubuntu's. Okay, so in order to differentiate the variables in the exercise of the previous chapter, we appended an underscore and a number to their values. This is not possible nor necessary when a single array value stores all values under a single element name. Instead, the elements are accessed by specifying the element number within the square brackets. That's very simple. So if you want to assign a different... yeah, we're into arrays, so it's like you're able to be like, oh, hey, this array is... You could be like values and then have an array called values and then, boom, assign zero. Apparently, well, this is referencing value array 0. And I guess it starts at 0, just like a variable. Doesn't Windows key minimize applications on Linux? No, mine opens the start menu. I should switch out the Windows on it for like a Kubuntu logo. Please give me the Kubuntu key. All right, but it's at least a good thing that we've gotten a good start on this. Like, I could already see what we could do with this. We could create a kind of like data center. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. The number always starts with 0, which is a rule in D. So like with variables, it always is set to 0 by default. It will be the same with this shit. It always will start at 0. So if you wanted to have 10, you could just be like, oh, just have 9 values associated with this. Then you have your 9 values in one variable. Be like, values, 1, and then boom. So we could probably try remaking the calculator, but using this again. Yep, we like counting from 0 in programming. Yeah, it just makes it easy, honestly. Be like, oh, values 9, that's actually 10 values there because you have 0. Or 10 different things. 2 different uses of the bracket character. There's 2 separate uses. One is assigning, obviously, or defining arrays. And then the other is when accessing them. So if you assign a 10, it's not the same as referencing a 10. Because referencing a 10 is just being like, oh, array 10. For example, in this code, he's assigning 12 values to the month or month days. And then when he references month days, oh, obviously, like this too. Clearly. So, like, also, that's a good thing to note that he didn't assign this shit. Like, the value of, well, he did kind of. But he just said it was integer, 12 integers under month days. And then month days 11 is being referenced there. For the 11th month, there's 31 days. That's interesting. It's like a calendar almost. And then right line January has month days 0 days. Because obviously December is 12. So if you start from 0, the 12th value is actually 11. Perfect. Index. The number of an element is called the number of an element is called its index. The act of accessing an element is called indexing. An index need not be a constant value. The value of a variable can also be used as an index, making arrays even more useful. For example, what are you learning, bro? I'm learning about arrays right now. D programming language. And we're learning arrays. I'm sure you're going to ask me what the D programming language even is, and you're surprised how similar this really borrows from a lot of shit from what I've read. From what I've read about this language, it's got a lot of things it takes from like C++, C. Obviously, those are like the big ones that it would be based on. I also like how it handles objects. So like if we look at B programming, bro. B. Yeah, you've never heard of this, lol? It's pretty interesting, like so far what we've learned about it. Like I don't know much about programming, but people who have come by in the chat and shit had said it's pretty interesting. But if we look at B, for example, bro, B is shitty compared to this. Where's the B tutorial? Give me the B tutorial. Here we go. Look at this. So there's no void main. Doesn't import shit because that wasn't, that'd be ahead of its time. It'd be way ahead of the time. Back then, programming was not as object oriented, but this is like a hybrid almost of C and C++. It's from what I've heard. Except Java has the overly lengthy system.output.printin output console. Like, it borrows shit from languages. But, of course, I haven't really So with B language, I'm just gonna note this now. I've been looking for some of the operating systems and shit for that to get my hands on it, but just for preservation purposes, honestly. But I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to get my hands on it. There's also a lot of tools and things for it. I have a compiler for it already, so that's good. That's a good starting place. But I don't know if we're gonna learn B after we learn C, bro. B is crazy. B precedes C. C is B but better. So you classify D if every other language. What do you mean? Crossbreed? I guess so. I guess it's like the best parts of every language and the worst parts of none. But I haven't heard anybody tell me anything like there's been people in chat who've been like in the past streams there was people in chat who would be like, wow, this is interesting. This is an interesting thing about it. And I don't know much about programming. This is my first programming language I'm learning, so an index, let me get back to reading just so I can focus up on this. An index need not be a constant value. The value of a variable can also be used as an index, making arrays even more useful. For example, the month can be determined by the value of month index variable below. Month index 2, or month index is 2. The expression above would, oh god, what is this? Would print the value. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a second. Month days, and then you put your variable inside the brackets to reference that. So if you were to like set, you could have the user define the month index, and then it will get him the month days. Interesting. What is your academic background, or if you are into programming professions? Since you said you're not. Yeah, I'm not from programming at all. I also have no academic background. I just go to the field too much. That's all I can say. That doesn't make any sense. Bro, I gotta explain it more next time. Bro, straight up enjoy the field. Every day of the field. Go to the field, do the training event. That's how it was for a while. Anyway, let's continue down. Only index values between 0 and 1 less than the length of the array are valid. Okay. Oh, wait a second. When the value... I gotta keep skipping sections, bro. I keep skipping sections being like, oh, that's not important. Oh, that's not important. When the value of month index is 2, the expression above would print the value month days 2, the number of days in March. Only index values from between 0 and 1, less than the length of the array, are valid. Okay, so if you had an array of 0 to 9, then only 0 through 9 are valid. Okay. Accessing an array with an invalid index causes the program to be terminated with an error. So that's kind of interesting. I assume you're from the west of the world, because us Asians would get thrown out of our homes without a defined academic background. I'm currently studying for my 12th grade final exams. Yeah, you can see what time it is for me. It's right here. Literally 12. Or no, not even 12. It's 2:06 right now. I just have one final paper left on Python. Man, I don't even know Python. Python, pain. America, straight up. Arrays are containers where the elements placed inside. This is a good way to think of it, honestly. I like to think of it as a list, but it's a different thing. Like in Python, a list is different from an array. Could you technically store words in this, or no? Like apple, banana, orange, pear. Be like, oh, what's number 1? Pear. But I don't think you can do that. You'd have to store it as like numbers, or you have a list and then you use that wouldn't make any fucking sense. That's about the same shit. Well, a list would make sense. For example, the elements of an array holding the number of days in the year can be shown as follows. So this is the, what is this? Oh, index is the number, and then elements is what is assigned to each index. Got it. If I have advice on getting into programming, I'd say start with Python. It's the most easiest to understand for somebody who has never been into any sort of programming. You can have an array of strings. Okay. We haven't learned about the string data type so far. I don't know if that's a data type or how that works. How do you assign that? Fixed arrays versus dynamic arrays. When the length of an array is specified, the program is written. The array is a fixed length array. So if you put a 12 there, then it will be a 12 or be 13. When the length can change during execution, the array is a dynamic array. Would you just assign a variable for that? Be like, you could have the user define the length of it if you put in a readf and then have the readf go into a variable and then it gets assigned after the readf. Be like, oh, I want 12 values in my array. Boom, perfect. I mean, that'd be weird usage. I'm trying to think of some good usages for this, but I mean, it's definitely a powerful thing to have access to, for sure. I just haven't found a use for it. Maybe the calculator program would be a great usage. Truly. Both of the arrays that we have defined above are fixed length arrays because their element counts are specified as 5 and 12. At the time when the program is written, the lengths of those arrays cannot be changed during the execution of the program. To change their lengths, the source code must be modified and the program must be recompiled. Oh, wait. Yeah, so like you have to edit it. Fixed length is commercially used to keep the storage space occupied small. Okay. That makes sense, I guess. Because if you had a dynamic array, then it would be much larger. Keep right-clicking, but I don't mean to do that. Defining dynamic arrays is simpler than defining fixed arrays because omitting the length makes a dynamic array. So I figured that would be like that. For commercial usage, you have to be efficient with storage you are using. That makes sense. Because obviously, performance on the user end, well, it depends on what kind of commercial we're talking about. If it's going to be like, obviously with any program, you want the performance to be good. It's just good practice there. Using dot length to get or set the number of elements. Arrays have properties as well, of which we'll see only dot length here. So then you can do array dot length. Oh, so you can return the number of elements. This right line, the array has array dot length elements. And I guess that displays the array dot length. So then if you, additionally, the length of dynamic arrays can be changed by assigning the value in a property. So you can technically set the array length in this thing. For example, here in my country, in my Python paper, just as part of learning, we do have marks for how efficient we can get with our code. Alright, so let's continue. An array example. Let's now revisit the exercise with 5 values and write it again using an array, which probably makes it a lot smaller because instead of having like 5 values, you just use one array to have everything in it. You could do double and then assign the value of, or have 5 values assigned to it. Then you can then reference 0 through 5, which is 6 total. Reading the values in a loop. So this would just count up the values. I wonder if we can redo that one program that we did using arrays. That one skip 7 program, right? So skip 7, but using an array. Actually, come to think about it, it'd be way more complicated. Well, you would just assign every value except for 7. So then you could just technically just write out the, well, assign the variables, but you'd still, well, you could do skip 7 but store all the values in an array. Technically. Observations of the value counter determines how many times the loops are repeated. Which language is this? D. D programming language. There you go. I'll give you a second to read that. D is a general purpose programming language with static typing systems level access and C-like syntax. With D programming language, write fast, read fast, and run fast. Fast code, fast. Fast, 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 fast. I don't know. Borrows a lot from other languages from what everybody's saying. Stuff like that. Just see how this program is better than the previous one. Imagine needing 20 to read 20 values. The program above would require a single change, replacing 5 with 20. On the other hand, a program that did not have an array would have 20 variable definitions. Furthermore, since you would be unable to use a loop to iterate the 20 values, you'd also have to repeat several lines 20 times. One time for each single valued element. Oh, so like, that makes sense. This is just reading values. Okay, we'll try this out. Okay, this is something similar to getting into data types thrown in a list with a while loop until your counter hits. Yeah, it's what I think that we're on the same page with this. Until where your condition hits false and exits the loop. Let's go ahead and try to make our own. Just to kind of, I have an idea for what I'm going to do. As a beginner, which language should I learn first? Python, C++, or Java? Well, if you ask Linus Torvalds, bro, Linus Torvalds hates C++. I would say Rust, though. Rust, man. Rust is super big nowadays. But maybe Rust isn't for you. Python's a great one to learn. Like, if you want one to learn that's going to be super useful in the future, Rust, but Python's pretty good. What are we going to call this? Array.d. Alright, we're going to go to array.d. We're going to do our stuff. Semicolon. Perfect. Bro, this is... Oh, I should zoom in real quick. I forgot to do that whole zoom in part. Oh, fucking hell, I screwed that shit up. Right, let's go ahead and fix that. Don't screw it up again. Maybulge. If you want to make real money out of you start with Python. Yeah. Python's also used in AI shit too. I'm just saying, a lot of AI shit, Python. Alright, so we're going to put a readf. And then we're going to assign a dynamic array. Actually, no. We're just going to... Yeah, well, actually, no. We'll assign 5 values to this array. Alright, we're going to make a readf. We'll assign values to the array. Alright, and then we need to actually, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and put in int. Then we're going to put the brackets. Technically, we could just do a dynamic array. I think we'll go with this. Python's also really picky about how you do shit as well. That's another thing to know. and we're going to assign int, and every time this will have to be in a while loop actually, now I think about it. So we'll have an assignment loop, and then we'll have a reading loop. I think that makes sense. If you want, I can provide you the best Python course I learned from that, and I'd say it's the best and easiest guide I found on YouTube for free. Alright, so then we'll need a while loop. And it needs to be a conditional one, so we'll have to have while, and then put in our conditional value. So a equals 0. We'll have to do a semicolon after this too. Int a semicolon, which we'll set to 0. So that means while a is 0, then we can add we need to add a write line before that. Also, we need to add a scope here, just to get this shit correct. There we go. Make that look nice. Make it look pretty. Make it look pretty. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Semicolon, continue onto that shit. And then we can do write. We're gonna just do a write for this, and then we're gonna go ahead and do assign a value. Space, colon, space, and then we should be good on that. Put a semicolon in there. And we'll add another one that says write. Actually, yeah, we'll just do a write ln for this one. Should be the next line, and then assign, or actually, would you like to assign another value? All right, and then boom. So that will assign to int, but we need to add another value to this, so that way every time it loops. So we're gonna put in a b for that, and we'll add an int b, semicolon. And then, of course, after that, semicolon here. Continue. Oh wait, well actually for this we'll do the Linux special wire n, and we'll have to make it like Linux special. Very nice. All right, and then we'll have another readf after that. Paste. Except this one is going to be readf, and it will be actually we can't really do wire n, can we? 1 is y and 2 is 2 for no. Perfect. Then we'll put that into a. So we'll assign a to that variable. So that will just and a, and then boom. And then it should be a completed loop. Then we'll have to do an if statement. So actually, no, you don't even need to do an if statement. What am I saying? Just backspace and this should be good. Control S on that. That's the first loop done. So now, actually, there's one other piece I'm missing. I need to add in the plus plus for A, so, or yeah, for B plus plus. So if readf is true, then it will be B plus plus. b, or b plus equal, or yeah, b plus equals, something like this, and then semicolon, that'll just mean b plus itself equals. Or maybe it's b equal, I think it is b plus equal. Actually, no, it's the other way around. Plus equals and then b. I think that's it. That should do it. Although I'm not remembering it this time. My brain is dying right now. Control S. Bro, programming at 2:23 in the a.m. This is crazy. Alright, cool. At least we're making some good progress. If you want a book as a reference, just for the very ultimate basics, I'd say Finding a PDF for Computer Science with Python by Sumita Arora, grade 11 and grade 12. This is for the Indian computer science courses for SCH students. By the way, where are you from? Where am I? Oh. Where are they from? Or where am I from? I don't know. Okay, so that should do the trick. And then, of course, do another one here. We're going to do our next while loop. While, and then parameters. We don't, we need a equals 1. So if a equals 1, it will just run the while loop. And then we just do our next steps. All right, for this one, we'll go ahead and write ln, and then it's going to be parameter, and it's going to be int, and then we're going to use b again. But this time it should be b, and we're going to assign b to 0. Oh, hold on. Before we do that, we need to set these to equals, not just regular equals. We need them to be equals. Okay. All right. So equals is the way to go on this. Int, and then we're gonna go ahead and I think it's just b equals 0 semicolon, and that should give us that. And then of course int is going to be read as b every single time. So then we'll do b, and then we'll hit enter, and b, or yes, plus equals b, and plus equals a. Actually, well, a equals 1. Selling half a gas cylinder due to its price. Oh. Huh. Interesting. I have no idea what's going on there. Yeah, everything's price is going up. Not just that. It's like what kind of war situation? There's like a war in Southern Asia or some shit. I don't know. People can't even get gas cylinders at a black rated price. Huh. And then we'll do, so to actually count the loop. So if we just did b plus equals, then it will be like, oh, hey, then this is the problem we're going to run into. So either we do b plus equals, and then we'll also have to do an a plus equals, and then we'll count when a reaches b, or when a and b. And of course, we'd have to do this inside of a, we need to do while a equals 1, and then we probably need to add another one. for a count up. So like a count up would be like int c, and then we can do a comma, or no, semicolon. Int c will be the, and we could do an and. I'm from the United States. It's a word declared by your country, by my country. We declared war on Southeast Asia, or was it on Iran? Again, I don't know. So while a equals that, but then we also need to add in the and statement of all time. Do I like my president? I don't even know, man. I don't even really care, man. Just as long as I'm getting paid at the end of the day, man. That's all that matters. As long as I'm getting paid, I won't ask any questions. That's all I need to know. All I need to know. All I need to worry about. Because if I get paid, then I can actually make videos and shit in my free time. That's where it's at. I actually have free time at that point. Semicolon. Actually, United States was involved from the United States is always involved from the beginning, man. The whole political spiel, but I'm not gonna get into it because I'll sound like a conspiracy theorist if I say how involved it's been. I'll sound insane. The United States is always involved. Would you mind if I ask a very controversial question? You can ask a controversial question, but don't expect an answer from me. I'd prefer to. I'm not sure if this is how this works, but we're gonna find that out. Pretty sure it is like this though. Oh, what the fuck did this? Why is there a scope line there? Please get rid of the scope line. How old am I? 20. Put in our and then we'll go ahead and put in actually you don't even need this. You just need the property of it. We don't need a C. We just need a plus equals B that will eventually, when it hits that, it will just, oh, hold on. I have a better idea than this. We don't need to put in all that shit. Especially since I don't know if it's going to work or not. But instead of that, we could just do if. When did I start learning programming? This weekend? Okay, never mind, I respect your decisions. Okay. We can run an if variable, and then for this, we'll do if b equals, and we'll put the property, which is somewhere up here. Value array.length, for example. So like, did I assign that correctly? No, I did not. I just put int. Bro, what did I do, man? What am I doing? Int, and then we'll call this one A. Oh wait, we can't do that, it's already used. Int C. So if I just use, we'll call it C and then put a B there. It will make it really easy, so then I can remember what it is. That looks weird for some reason. Hold on, should go ahead and do that again. There we go, now it's a sign. Ever been to India? No. Also no for me. Semicolon. Actually, that's a scope after that. There we go. Then let's go ahead and put in this. What am I doing next? Oh, we need C dot length. I think that's how that works. It will give us a compiler error if it's not how it works. So I'm not too concerned. Then we'll just put a break, semicolon, tab, write ln, finish, and then put a, that should be good. All right, finished, comma, or yeah, finished dot, and then it's good. All right, then this should be a working program, except put a semicolon there. Let's go ahead and go through and make sure everything's right. So we do our void main, everything's got semicolons after it. That looks kind of weird, but that's just because it's one line in two, because it's so long. Actually, 0 would be no. We'll just put 1 as yes and 0 as no. That way it's easy to remember. Then it should be good. Control S. All right, we're gonna open up our terminal. We're gonna go ahead and do dmd array.d, and then it found some errors. And it's pretty much every time I try to do that. I'm guessing it's b plus equals instead of plus equals b. I might have got it backwards, but hopefully it's b plus equals. Try it again. dmd array.d. Let's see. When expecting, oh. Array length. Let's figure out how it says to do array length. Because I really don't use properties much. I have not used many properties. Array dot, so c dot length doesn't work. B plus equals 1. Oh shit, yeah. That's true. Well, I'm pretty sure using b plus equals isn't wrong either. We'd have to go back to the arithmetic page, but b plus equals, I'm pretty sure does the same shit in D. It wasn't giving me, oh, it was giving me errors. Okay. Oh. Hold on. Yet again, it's b equals plus 1. I think this would probably do it. Obviously, b equals plus would probably not do it. All right, let's see. We'll try. I did that shit. Well, open terminal. DMD or DMD array dot d. All right, so then it's just those kind of things. C dot length is my biggest issue right now. Maybe it's because it's oh, found when that it was expecting. Found break when expecting. For following expression. What the fuck? Following expression break. I'm confused right now. When expect. Found that when expecting that. I mean, that's just because it's okay. Hold on. Is the tariff situation fixed in your country? I don't know. I have no idea. Bro, they're probably like really high right now. I don't really pay attention to it. The only thing I really pay attention to is Linux. If anything impacts Linux, anything impacts internet rights, then boom. We've got to fight that shit all the way. Age verification laws, gotta fight it. It's just tracking. It's one big conspiracy. I'm fighting the good fight for open source. Free and open source shit. In which state do you live in the US? Right now, Kansas, but I've been all over the place. B equals +1, semicolon. Break, semicolon. What am I doing? Oh. Why did I put a dot there? I'm done. Oh, wait. No, I'm not dumb. I'm ultra dumb. That's not how that works. Oh god, that's a rookie mistake right there, bro. Alright, let's try that again. DMD array.d. Now it's just waiting on b equals equals. B equals 0, 0, b equals equals. That's not how you assign that's saying b equals equals. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. Boom, and that's why it didn't work. Wish I could visit the canyon, or is it the Great Canyon or something? Yeah, Great Canyon. It's pretty cool. I haven't been there yet. Maybe someday I'll get to go to the Great Canyon. That'd be pretty cool. I've always seen it on Windows 7 wallpapers in my childhood, and always thought it's just colors until my dad said it's the canyon. All right, let's go ahead and /run array. Index 0 is out of bounds for an array length 0. Wait, what? What the hell? Hold on. Dynamic array? What? Array length 0? Core exception dot array index error at array dot d. Index 0 is out of bounds for array length 0. So if we look at what does that mean? So it means that it index 0 assign value, right? So we hold on int c, right? C, and then its b is being put on there, so we would be, where's assign value? It didn't read that even. So it wants me to give it a regular value. But when you sleep, it's 2:40 a.m. Isn't it night there? I get up at 12 a.m. So then I can split my day into 2 segments. It makes it easier for me. If I split my day into 2 segments, I like that. All right, let's see. Keeps work and life separate. Let's go back up here and see what he says about dynamic arrays. Because that was weird. Dynamic array. Length array. Okay. Fixed length arrays are that. Just woke up, I guess, lol. Or no, I guess it should be about 12 there. It's 2:41. Let's see if assigning int a equals 1 from the start. Actually, don't even do that. Don't even do that. Control S. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think there should be a problem with that. Int array initially empty. Array length. Oh, we probably have to assign c.length right away. Actually, the length of arrays can be changed. Arrays have cool, okay. There's a 25 difference in time between India and Nepal's time. Dynamic array. elements. What am I doing? Why is this not working? Index error. So that, like if array index is 0, while a equals 0. So something's wrong with my array to where I cannot assign the value to it. Or actually, maybe arrays are not dynamic. There is no dynamic array. I mean, it'd be fun to do a dynamic array for this because it'd be a challenge to actually read that shit, but because omitting the length makes the length of such an array can increase or decrease during execution of the program. Or no, static arrays. Arrays have properties as well. We'll see only dot length here. And then, of course, length arrays can be changed by assigning the value to the property, so we can change the length array example. So you would do double 5, but there's no dynamic examples here, is there? Is there any dynamic examples? I want to see a dynamic one. Okay, so he does this. Adds new elements to the end of a dynamic array. Okay. So would I need to use another thing to do that? Adding elements to dynamic arrays. So you can't just be like, oh, C add B, or well, C, B, then switch the number up on it. Because there is no actual number right now. So to assign a value, you use B. B equals 0, and that would be the number of times. Okay, hold on. If you want to take a break, want to see some funny shit our National Schooling Education Organization did with us on our mathematics paper, XD, search up CBSE class 12 maths paper QR code. Okay. How do I... Okay, let's... What? Oh god. This is taking a minute. Control C. Paste. Let's see what it has. The Central Board of Secondary Education issued a clarification regarding a QR code on the Class 12's mathematics question over... that's what AI says about it. Rickroll, bro. No way. Insanity, bro. Straight up. Rickrolled them. God damn. I'll be able to guide you, get into the NDTV news is genuine. I figure. Bro, it's insane. Scan that QR. I can't do that on stream, but yeah, that's insane though. I believe it. The QR code on the math test is a Rickroll. Alright, well that's cool. I can't really say much else. I gotta figure out this array. It's not possible to add elements. Okay. So if I want to add an element to this, we might need another variable for that. However, okay, so we can remove the b equals 0. We're going to keep b as that. So b will always remain for that shit. Rickrolled nearly 3.4 million students. God damn. That's the world's largest Rickroll right there. Straight up. Alright, and then we don't do b plus equals 1. Actually, we might need to keep the b plus equals 0, but that's just to keep track of how many times it was 4. We could do... b equals minus 1. So it would count down. If b equals 0, instead of equals 0 length, or 0, then it will work. Every year the maths paper is like, you have 3 hours, but you won't be able to solve the questions properly. It's that hard. So we all thought this year is going to be the same, but the paper came out to be so easy that every question can be solved by a first grader, but the paper can't be solved in 3 hours. It's so lengthy. Double trolling. Wow. Control S. So it'd be b minus equals 1, and then when b equals 0. So b here is just going to track how many times it's ran, and then we'll add another variable. Well, actually, so that now for this, we add in our actual input for assigning the variable, which is going to be called int z semicolon. ABZs, right? So instead we're just going to assign z in there, and then we're going to go ahead and use this to add to our array. So we're going to go ahead and do c, and then we're going to do, I'm going to hop off. I guess I need to study for my college entrance test. I wish you all the best in your learning. Thank you. Have a good night, I guess, or good afternoon because you're in Asia, or evening, or whatever. Good morning, I guess. I don't know. Tilde equals, and then you can add on z, and then semicolon. And then that should add on a value. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and scroll back up so that way I don't go too far ahead of myself. But odds are that this will work. Control S on this shit. All right, we're gonna do dmd array.d and then try to, oh, it wasn't broken, it was just, okay. dmd array.d and then /array. We're going to assign a value. Let's go ahead and put it in 12. I would like to assign another value. Out of bounds for array length. Would you like to assign another value? Yeah, yes or no? Then it goes ahead and assigns that to A. Oh, okay. So then it goes into the reading phase. Index 1 is out of bounds for array length 1. What? So then I'm not reading the dynamic variable correctly? Oh, because it should be less than that. Right? B minus, it would not be b minus 2. But we'd say b equals 0 beforehand. So in the while statement, we'll just do b equals, actually before the while statement, because it all goes sequentially. So before it goes into the next while statement, b equals 0 out here, just to make sure there's no possibility that. So we'll go through this, read that, and be like, oh shit, well, a equals 1, do that. I think that will work, but I don't actually know if it might have to be inside of one of the while statements. So we'll do 12, we'll do 0, 24, we'll hit 1, it reads 12, is out of bounds for an array length of 2, let's see. Oh god, bro, we just did an overflow right there. B equals 0, and then we should just do plus No, we need to do a plus right there. Cool, and then if b equals length.c, or c.length. We'll have to do c.length for this, so it will keep track of that. And then it should be good to go. So then we'll do dmd.array.d, and then we'll do /array. We'll do 12, we'll hit 0, and then we'll hit 24, we'll hit 1. Oh god, 24, 24, 24. Stop it. Stop the execution of that shit. So we got that to work, but we need to add in another function or another feature to this. So if b equals c.length, that's going to break it. But it doesn't break. So that's the thing. I guess what we do is copy, or we'd cut that. Actually, if a, okay, so we'll have to do that whole other operating shenanigan. That'd be the easiest way to do this because it will keep it in the least line of codes. What am I doing right here, bro? Why am I out of bounds right there? Out of the parameter right there. Put in an and function, or and shit. Where's my fucking double and? Give it an and. Give it the and statement of all time right there. Let's see about this shit. And b is less than or equal to c.length. Hit Control S. Actually remove that shit. Do I need to write? Actually, we'll keep the right line for this area. Paste it in there. Yeah, that should do. The rest of it is just getting rid of these. And then also fixing this because this is wrong. Right line finished. And then get rid of the if statement because we don't need that, obviously. We just need to end the scope here. Close off that scope. I'm pretty sure that's all it needs. Oh. This is it within its scope, actually. Alright, that actually should be a lot better, I think, as far as the amount of lines used, amount of coding used is a lot less. This is very, very nice. I like this one much better. ./array, we're going to assign 12, 0, 13, enter, 1, enter. And it continues to go after that. Control C. It just generates 13 the whole fucking time. So once it hits that, it should just fucking stop. But you see, it's not, I don't think it's taking account of the fact that it's got to be, and C is equal or less than C length. Then it adds B plus 1 every single fucking time. Unless that's not doing anything. Documentation, open link, new tab. Let's see, language reference. State expressions, I guess. Check this. Where is and? And the smallest short circuit expression. I have no idea what that fucking means. Let's just go back up. You know what? Where is that in this book? Logical expressions. Open link in new tab. Try to find out about and statements. So and, right? That's what we're looking for. Means and it produces true if both expressions are true. So while true, and then it needs to take account of both of those. So while both of these are true, but also it's done like inside of parentheses too. This is weird though, because like I don't know why it's not working right. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna figure it out, but still. Because you'd think that if C length is equal to or greater than the other one, then we'll stop when B is equal to that. And then we'll break. And we could just do and B does not equal. But it should be equal to or less than C length. We'll just do that. Maybe it didn't compile correctly. We'll try it out again. 12, 0, 13, 0, 24, enter, 1. Okay. Maybe it did break, but then it went back into the loop. That could be an issue. All right. Well. Very interesting. I'm gonna finish it though today. I'm gonna finish this program. And then we'll have to continue where we left off. Or where we leave off, but I'm gonna finish this and then we'll be done. A ternary operator? Oh God. Right line C and B. And B. Hold on. So if B is less than or equal to C that length, then print that. That means it will stop printing. So it's doing as it should do, but it's still looping because the B is never going to be that. It's never going to be past that. So we need to add an if statement. If A equals, actually no, I'm doing it wrong. So if A equals to, or yeah, or actually no. If B equals C dot length. All right, here we go. Scope, enter, break, semicolon, and hit Control S. And that should be everything working. Let's see about it. Let's go ahead and assign 12. Let's go ahead and assign 13. Can you please do some satisfactory lives in the future? I don't know. Oh, it finished. So I assigned the wrong value and it finished. That's weird. Okay. I mean, I could try, but I don't know how well that's going to work. on Linux. We'll have to figure that out together. Once I finish this, I'm gonna go do a HBM nuclear tech mod stream, I think. All right, and then we'll assign 14, and then we'll go ahead and hit 1. And then it still is having this issue. Why is it only stopping at 13 though? This is actually strange. All it is 13s, bro. Okay, so if B equals that, then it should just break the code. Maybe I need to set A equals 0 first. That way it's 100% certain that it's gonna... We'll try A equals 0, semicolon, Control S, and then dmd.array, and then /array, and then we'll go ahead and 13, 0, and 12, and then 1, and just does 12 the whole fucking time. Okay, clearly this is not the way to go. Hold on. What is this inside of? Is this inside of... Okay, it's not inside of that. We could just case this in an if statement. And then just go back. So the idea would be encase it in an if statement that prevents any of... I mean, this is one way of fixing my issue. But I do an if statement, and if A equals 1 inside of that. And then we put our scope afterwards. Not a brackets scope. Go ahead and reformat everything so it looks pretty. Because that should go there, like it is here. Alright, and then close out our scope. And that should do it. So now, Control S. We'll just run our dmd.array, and then we'll run our array. We'll assign 12, 0, and 13. We'll hit 1, and it will fucking do that shit again. God damn it. Okay, that doesn't do it either. I wonder if it's not that then. This is actually something I don't know if I'm going to be able to solve tonight. I think I should probably stop because I'm going to run out of time to do all the shit I need to do. Or all the shit I want to do. Let's give it 14 more minutes. If I can't solve it within 14 minutes, then we're doomed. Alright, let's go back. Back to arrays. C.length, right? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the .length property, but .length can also return. Okay. But I'm pretty sure .length is used to return. Yes. While B is less than C.length. Let's just not do a less than or equal to. Let's try that. What if that was the problem the whole time? Imagine. What the hell? I did compile it. Also, something else we can switch out. We're gonna just look at this guy's code now, since before I was just trying to do it on my own. Now I can see how I can do this better using this what this guy has come up with. So he uses counter instead of B. He also does counter +1. reading the values in the loop. So I'm assigning the values, and then I read the values in my second while loop. So my second while loop just reads off the variables. Reads off the values in my array. So when I'm working, that's what I'm working on right now. And you see, it doesn't want to keep reading them off. For some reason, it wants us to not read them off. So we're gonna do while a equals 1, and we'll try this one out. And both these need to be put into their own separate brackets within the same thing. Perfect. What the fuck? There we go. Maybe this is it? No, this is not it. The loop calculates the fifths value. Reading the values in a loop. Plus counter. Read F. So that would be. Let's go ahead and hit Control S and just try what I have and see if it works again. dmd.array and then dmd. Okay, and then we'll do head 12. Enter 0. Enter 13. 13. Oh, we could do 13. Yep, and then enter and 0. What I fucking put an O, good God. 12, 0, 13, enter, 0, enter, and then 12, 14, enter, and then we'll do 1. Oh, it actually works now. What the fuck? Bro, don't do the plus equals 1, that shit didn't work. All right, well, we got a working program now, so that's it for this stream. I think we learned a bit about arrays. We got a bit of a good start. We're gonna pick up here when we leave tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all. I might see you all in the stream in a bit. I'm gonna do, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. And goodbye. Well, I'm gonna do a stream in a bit if you all want to come, but that's gonna be for a different thing. So I'll end the stream and I'll go ahead and pick up that stream then.